Ben's philosophy whenever I say something stupid is to just let it, like, air out to dry or die.
Yeah, unfortunately, I am very mentally ill and need to make sure that I am, you know, understood. which leads to many jokes just being absolutely destroyed.
You mean, like, over-explained to hide
Yep,
him?
yep, and I always feel
like,
bad
you see-
afterwards. I'm just like,
You see, the
shit.
joke is... Oh no, I heard you.
Please understand me. Oh god. And that's
Please
on...
understand that I wasn't being literal. Please understand that I do not condone these terrible actions. There have been a few times during, like, Game and Chat even, where I've said a thing that I wouldn't condone, but because I thought it was, like, so ridiculous that no one would take me seriously, but then when I watch the video back, I'm like, oh, someone might think that I actually condone that thing.
Yep. Yeah, I've had that so often. On stream, I'll say something and I'm just like, I'm not explaining this right. And also, please don't take me out of context. I did have, I had a transphobe show up in stream the other day, which was...
Oh, interesting.
Really fun. For some, we were just talking about random shit. It was actually, everything was going pretty well. And then this random person popped up, and I'll put them on blast because they had a stupid username anyway.
Absolutely.
It was Queen of the Hell 666, and I'm like, oh,
Edgy.
oh no. And they started with something like so ugly. I was like, okay, you know what? I'm gonna give them the benefit of the doubt. I am playing an older game. My setup isn't the best. They could be talking about anything here. Definitely not my appearance.
What did they say? Ugly or something?
Yeah, they said so ugly, and I was like, what are we talking about here? And then they were like, and then they went on this rant about how being trans is brainwashing, really badly grammatically spelt the entire way through. And I was like, no, you're getting banned. But as I was banning them, they just typed in all caps, stop!
No, wait. No.
I said psych, bro! I said psych! It was just a prank! I lost.
Like, time to warn you!
Oh my god, it got me really bad.
Just stop!
Yeah, just stop! Don't ban me! You need to hear my stupid words. I'm like, no.
No one else will listen to me. I absolutely need to make my stand right here and now.
We talked about one of my mods popped in after like, fuck, I fell asleep and missed that. And I was like, it's fine. That did not faze me. It was just funny.
It's interesting too, because like, this might sound strange to say, but sometimes like, I'll hear a transphobic person, and I want to give them benefit of the doubt might not be the right word, but I sort of sometimes I'll assume that they're coming from a perspective of like a lack of understanding or a lack of experience.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
No,
And
I'll
try to
have that a lot. Yeah.
Yeah, and I'll try to be kind. But the thing that I find like absolutely interesting is just how, I mean, you'd think it'd be obvious, like, because sometimes I'll say a thing that makes me like stop and go like, okay, maybe this person has a point. Like, I don't want to say that like, oh, I'm being convinced by the anti-trans crowd, but like maybe they're coming from a like an authentic perspective, like they think they believe the words that they say. So like I'll hear them out.
Yeah.
And they might say something that I hadn't considered before, right? Because I'm perfectly willing to like, you know, break bread with anyone, right?
Fair
enough. But normally they show a complete lack of education, or they mention God within the first 20 seconds.
Yep, that. It's amazing how that happened. I think we were talking about it on that same stream. I was just like, why does every transphobe I've ever seen on Twitter have the worst spelling, the worst grammar, or like some shit like that? Like, how is it that they consistently like just sound unintelligent whenever they're saying shit? And it's just, it's fascinating.
They'll explicitly say things that are like not true,
Yeah.
It's the kind of thing that would sound true to someone that hasn't done any research, but if you have done the research, you know for a fact that it's not true. They'll be like, oh, hormones won't change this thing about you, and you'll be like, actually they do though.
They
like
kinda do, yeah.
Yeah. So either you're lying or you just aren't approaching in good faith.
No, 100%. Or like,
Yeah.
oh, they're trying to brainwash us. I'm like, no,
Most people. It's like, oh, they're attention seekers, but like most trans people I know want the least amount of attention possible.
I want the fuck to be left alone, thank you.
Yeah.
Please,
Exactly.
do not perceive me.
I would rather not be perceived.
Thanks.
Do I feel like a boy or a girl? Well, actually, I feel like shit.
Oh, that's too real.
Oh man.
I was in therapy the other day, and we were doing these questionnaires, fun little questionnaires, and we were going through gender shit, and they were like, so this is all before the age of 12, right? I'm like, sure.
Yep.
Like, so did you ever feel more or less like a boy or a girl? And I was like, I don't fucking have a good answer for you. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
They were like, no,
Oh,
that's perfectly fine. But it's like, no, you don't understand.
That's interesting because you feel like when it comes to like those types of settings, you feel like you do have to partially lie or exaggerate the symptoms of dysphoria in order to be taken seriously. Like it's the same thing with getting an autism diagnosis because I'll be like, oh, I need to really exaggerate, the tiny things that affect my life in regards to this thing, or else they're gonna try and like chalk it up to something else.
Yeah, no,
you don't want.
I totally understand that. The only like, I think I do a bit that, but like the only like positive I have in my corner for all this is my therapist is non-binary, and you know they get it, but it's just a different thing, but they're also like, we're doing this for medical purposes, we have to like, this and that, and it's like, yeah, no, fair. So I will say, did I miss it? No. Did I miss a gem? No.
Maybe you did.
Sorry.
Maybe you did.
Well,
if you can't handle the heat from fire from heat, then stay out of the kitchen and house and kitchen.
Don't you?
Don't you what?
I was gonna say something like, "Don't you quote the old tongue at me," but then just the way. Oh, I've lost it. Damn it! Just the way that flowed really made me laugh. Oh my god! You caught me off guard with that one. God damn you!
I've had that in my head for a while. I wanted to use it.
Oh my god. Where's the... Hang on. Oh, I don't have sparks anymore. God damn it. It's the only way that's the only way I can find gems. Stop throwing your children at me, ma'am.
Ma'am.
I think it's a... I don't know.
I'm not gonna assume.
You know what? You're right. I shouldn't assume the gender of the giant cartoon orangutans.
And when you burn them, you will exhume their gender.
Okay, I think hang on. Yeah, absolutely. Hang on. Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. I would love if I was doing like a stand-up comedy routine and I just ended my joke with "right," and one person in the front of the audience was just like, "Yeah, absolutely." Just casually.
Well, we've officially hit the point of the night where we fucking lost it. Oh, God. Okay. Yes. Thank you, autosave, for keeping my. Look at how glowy Spyro is. I love that. Sorry,
even if no one watches these episodes ever, I will just be happy that they were made.
We had fun.
My little corner of the internet, and no one can take that away from me.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah, bitch. Hang on. Okay, we're off to fucking Dreamweavers. That went by pretty quickly. Wow, it's been... Okay, hang on. We've only been...
Dream what now?
Dreamweavers.
Oh, you mean Freaker. You mean Freaker, don't you?
Yes. Dream Joey Weaver. What do you mean the fucking DualSense is low? I charged.
Yeah, Brooklyn Rage.
Brooklyn Rage. I was doing that voice yesterday because some people in my chat were talking about Yu-Gi-Oh! And unfortunately, every single voice for Yu-Gi-Oh! In my head now is just from the Abridged series. Like, I can't remember how any of the characters actually sound.
Oh,
it's
yeah,
just the
yeah.
Abridged series versions of them. Like, I couldn't fucking tell you what Tristan sounded like, but I can tell you what his Abridged version sounded like, and Barney the Dinosaur.
I'm the same way with Dragon Ball Z.
Oh, God, Can I be honest? I've never watched a single episode of DBZ Abridged. Weirdly
Oh,
enough.
really?
Yeah,
Wow.
I was so into Yu-Gi-Oh! Abridged that I was like, nah, they won't be able to make, pull off the same thing.
Well, I would say you were right at the start, but like they slowly came into their own and became really
Yeah.
good. They became significantly more popular than Yu-Gi-Oh! Abridged, but I think that's only because of the subject matter and not because it was necessarily a better show.
Yeah, like, I've actually found that with a lot of Abridged series. Like, they kind of just start off doing the silly voices, and then they really do fucking throw into their own,
The
unique
interesting
thing.
The interesting thing about Dragon Ball Z Abridged in particular is that, and a lot of people will attest to this, some people even go as far as to say that it's better than the original show, which, I mean, the creators would disagree with. That was never the intention.
Yeah, 100%.
But the thing that makes Dragon Ball Z in particular interesting is that what the Abridged series did is because it was made by fans, like Little Karibo was kind of a fan of Yu-Gi-Oh, but he was just doing like silly voices and throwing in pop culture references every once in a while.
Yeah.
It was funny, but it wasn't like necessarily Yu-Gi-Oh centric. But what the Dragon Ball Z Abridged guys did is they would take bits of the story from the original Dragon Ball Z, and not only would they literally abridge it, but they would move things around in the timeline or add emotional scenes to particular characters that maybe didn't get fleshed out enough in the original, and like give them more of a character in their version.
Yeah, that's actually
that
pretty
was-
cool.
And it was fascinating because like now Dragon Ball Z Abridged is like a unique retelling of the original story in a way that kind of like flows a little bit better from like a fan perspective. Like if it's the kind of thing where if a creator could go back and like redo their story a little bit to like make it flow better,
Yeah.
that kind of thing.
Yeah, that's actually pretty neat. I was on TikTok the other day and I found this person who just like he asks people to send him like speeches from stuff and he just reads them out dramatically or whatever, or like, with purpose and vigor and all that. And I was listening to this one, I'm like, oh, this is actually pretty well written. And then I looked down in the description, it was from DBZ Abridged, and I was like, excuse me, what? I was like, okay. But yeah, it's interesting.
That's one of the great things about fan fiction is that you can, like, with a pre-established world or idea, there's, like, so many, like, things you can, like, layer on top of it or do with the idea that have,
totally.
like, either never been done or, like... Because, like, fan fiction gets a bad rap for being, like, ship fics and this or that thing, but, like, I do find the concept fascinating of expanding on someone else's universe in, like, your own way, if that makes sense.
I love that a lot of fan fiction writers, or even people who have been fans of series for such a long time, are now starting to get creative footholds in those actual series, like with Sonic at the moment, like Tyson Hesse and who's the guy who wrote Sonic Frontiers? They were, I can't remember his fucking name for the life of me, but they have either been writing other material or making art for Sonic or Sonic related stuff for years, and now they're actually like leading projects and stuff. It's so cool.
It's like how a lot of people working on The Simpsons now like grew up as Simpsons fans.
Yeah.
And you can kind of tell what, like, they'll post on their Twitter accounts being like, oh, I've been, I've had this idea for so long and now I'm actually storyboarding on The Simpsons. What?
It's so cool. I love that shit.
It's great. It's so good.
That
That dragon earlier was called Latif, and I was gonna be like, "Hey, Latifi is here. Oh, Spyro is so cringe. Who's this tiny purple dragon? He's literally 30." Actually, yeah. That's actually the funny thing is I think Leafy's in his 30s now, and like he's back in his heyday, he would go around calling people in their 30s cringe, like, oh, this guy's like a grown up, you shouldn't even be doing this. But like now he's the one like posting cringy shit in his 30s.
I mean, yeah, fair. I had a conversation with someone from work, and I was like, yeah, it was my birthday recently, and they're like, oh, how old you turned? Like 18, and they were joking, of course, and I was like, no, I turned 29, and they were like, oh my god, you're like a real adult. I was like, don't say that. How fucking old are you? And they were like, 21. I'm like, no, fuck off.
Oh no. Yeah, that happens a lot. That happens a lot.
Did you know about the secret room?
I did not. No, but I also didn't play like this far into Spyro 1 all that much.
Fair.
The only real one I finished was Year of the Dragon. That's probably my favorite one. People say that people say Ripto's Racist was the best one. But so
I grew up playing Spyro 3. I love Spyro 3. It's a game that I have a lot of big emotions about. But as the years have gone on, and I've like completed these games over and over and over and over again, I've actually started to appreciate Spyro 2 as an overall better designed game. It may not be the better game, but it's a lot more to the point, where Spyro 3 has a lot of just kind of dumb bullshit thrown in for the sake of it being just sort of being there. But once again, love Spyro 3 to pieces. I think its levels are great. I think its music is the best in the series. But I just find myself appreciating Spyro 2 a lot more these days. And hell, even this game, specifically the Reignited version of Spyro 1, like, I really love it.
I miss the simplicity of childhood of like just going onto websites and looking up video game rumors and stuff like that. And I remember like going over to my friend's house for a sleepover, and he had like a hacked PlayStation where like it would open up to a black screen, like it was an ominous black screen with like white text and some like bootleg music in the background. It'll be like, oh, how many like eggs do you want when the game starts up? And you just type in 999, and you would have 999 dragon eggs when the game started.
That's so stupid. I love it. Oh god.
It was so good.
Yeah,
it was crazy. And it was like amazing because like I could see the bonus worlds without having to do any of the effort.
Oh yeah, totally.
But like being a kid and getting like a hacking device was just like, like sugar. It was like sugar.
I remember, so like I never had an N64 growing up. My friend did, and we would play Smash Bros. And Super Mario 64 and stuff whenever I went over to her place. But like I never really grew up with a lot of like those classic games that a lot of people love. And I remember being in like maybe year 6 or something, like around 12 years old, I guess, and someone showing me what an emulator was for the first time, and it blew my little mind. Like I was like, wait, I can play Nintendo 64 games on my computer? And I remember distinctly playing the hell out of like all the games that I wanted to play growing up, and it like is the weirdest thing to me. Like, I don't know.
I have the fondest memories of like being in high school and playing Team Fortress Classic, but also just booting up an N64 emulator and playing Pokemon Stadium, Mario Kart, but especially Super Smash Brothers.
Yeah.
Like my main experience with Smash Brothers was playing it on an N64 emulator. And did you ever at any point in your life, did you ever run into Smash players who were just like, oh, you're abusing this move too much, so we're gonna go into the menu and we're gonna disable that move so you can't do it anymore?
I can't say I have, but I know the kind, you know? Like, I've never run into them, but I absolutely know the kind.
When I was back when I used to play a lot of like Smash Brothers on emulator, I would play as Mario, and I would like grab and throw because he did this really cool spinny move when you like threw, and it did like it just like tossed everyone across the map. it's
the Bowser throw from Mario 64. That's
yeah.
That's what I always thought.
Bowser throw.
Yeah, the
so long, straight Bowser. So long, pansexual. Oh, you're asexual? Oh, it's okay. Sexuality is fluid. It's fine, Bowser. Oh, you're
So long,
Bowsette
Ace
now?
Bowser.
That's cool.
God,
So long,
Bowsette
lesbian Bowsette.
God, Bowsette was a fucking thing.
Yeah.
Just suddenly remembering that. Ugh.